Tom had always liked quiet places. That's why he often went deep into the forest near the edge of his small colony. The tall trees, the singing birds, and the sound of wind in the leaves made him feel calm. He would often walk alone with a backpack, a small toolkit, and his old scanner just in case something interesting showed up. But that day was different. His scanner beeped out at first. He thought it was a glitch. The screen showed strange energy nearby. Not human. Not from Earth. He followed the signal through thick trees and broken paths, moving slowly and quietly. His boots crunched dry leaves as he climbed over a fallen log and pushed past low branches. Then, he saw it. Half buried in the dirt was a small ship. Its metal surface was burned in places, and smoke still rose from the back engine. It had crashed hard, cutting a long scar through the earth. One of its doors was open. Tom looked around. No sound, no movement. Carefully, he stepped closer, inside. The ship, lights blinked weakly. There was no body, no blood. Just some broken gear and burned cables. His heart pounded. He backed out, ready to call someone. But then he heard something. A soft sound like breathing coming from the trees nearby. Tom turned. His eyes searched the shadows. Then he saw her. A girl. No, an alien. She was leaning against a rock, half hidden by bushes. Her silver hair was messy. Her skin had a soft blue glow under the sunlight. One of her legs looked weak, and her left arm was stiff. She wore torn clothes made from strange material. Her eyes met his. She didn't look scared. She looked tired. Tom raised both hands. I won't hurt you, he said calmly. The alien girl didn't answer, but her eyes stayed on him. Her chest moved slowly as she breathed. He stepped closer, slowly, showing his empty hands. She didn't run. She just watched him. You're hurt, Tom said. Can you understand me? The girl tilted her head. Then, to his surprise, she nodded just once. Tom knelt down beside her. Can you walk? She tried to stand, but her leg gave out. She winced and shook her head. Her left arm didn't move at all. Tom looked around. They couldn't stay there. The ship might draw attention. If someone else found her, there was no telling what they would do. Many humans still didn't trust aliens. I'll help you, Tom said softly. She looked at him again, blinking slowly. Her lips moved a little, like she wanted to say something, but no sound came. Then, carefully, she lifted her good hand and touched her chest. Nira, she whispered. Tom understood. Nira, I'm Tom. She gave a small nod. Tom took off his backpack, pulled out a small blanket, and wrapped it around her shoulders. She was cold. Then he took a long stick, cut off extra branches, and turned it into a walking stick. Gently, he helped her up. She leaned on him, weak but trying her best to stay standing. It took almost 2 hours to reach the old cabin. It was hidden deep in the forest. Tom's grandfather had built it years ago. Before he passed away, it had a working water pump, an old solar panel, and a small bed. Tom had kept it clean over the years, using it as a quiet escape. He opened the door and helped Nira inside. She sat on the bed, breathing hard. Her face showed pain, but she didn't complain. Tom brought her water. She drank slowly. Then he gave her a soft towel to clean her face. She wiped the dirt off her skin, revealing the smooth blue tone underneath. Her eyes were deep silver, and her ears were small and round. Tom sat across from her. Are you alone? He asked. And Ira gave a slow nod. Were you being chased? This time, she looked away. She didn't answer. Tom understood she didn't want to talk about it. He stood and went to find some food. He gave her dried fruit and soft bread. She ate carefully. Each bite looked painful, but she never stopped. She was strong. After she finished eating, Tom checked her wounds. Her leg was bruised, and her arm had deep marks like burns. He cleaned them with warm water and wrapped them in clean cloth. She didn't flinch once. When he looked up, he saw her watching him. You're not afraid of me? She asked in a soft voice. Her words were slow, but clear. Tom shook his head. No. Should I be? Nira looked down. Others were. Tom leaned forward. Not me. Silence filled the room for a moment. Then Nira said, I crashed here on purpose. I didn't want to go back. Why? Tom asked. She looked at her damaged arm. Because I'm broken. My people do not accept weakness. A princess must be perfect. I wasn't. Tom's eyes widened. You're a princess, Nira nodded once. I was. Not anymore. Tom sat quietly. He didn't know what to say. She looked young, maybe his age. But there was something deep in her eyes. She had lived through more than he could imagine. You're not broken, Tom said at last. Nira didn't answer, but her eyes softened. Outside, the sky was turning dark. Tom set up a small light and placed a blanket over Nira's legs. You can rest, he said. As he turned to leave the room, Nira spoke again. Thank you. Tom looked back. You're welcome. Then he stepped outside, looked up at the stars, and wondered what kind of trouble he had just invited into his life. But deep down, he didn't regret it. The morning light broke through the cabin window as Tom poured warm water into a small metal bowl. He had woken up early, his thoughts filled with the girl sleeping inside. Nira, an alien, a princess, and wounded in a way far deeper than her. Broken arm or leg. He carried the bowl inside the room and found Nira already awake. She sat on the edge of the bed, quiet, looking at the window like she had never seen sunlight before. I brought warm water, Tom said. For your face or hands. Nira turned toward him and gave a small nod. Thank you. Tom placed the bowl near her and sat on a wooden chair. Did you sleep okay? Better than before, she said. The stars were quiet here, peaceful. Tom didn't know what she meant by that, but he didn't ask. He noticed her eyes were clearer this morning, her voice a little stronger. I need to check your leg, Tom said. She allowed it. He carefully removed the cloth wrap from her leg and saw the swelling had reduced. Her arm, however, still looked stiff and weak. He helped her stretch it gently. She didn't complain even once. You're healing, he said. I have too, she answered. I must be able to move again. Tom gave her a puzzled look. Why? You're safe here. No place is safe forever, Nira replied. Not when others want to find me. Tom leaned forward. Who's looking for you? Nira hesitated. Her silver eyes darkened. My people, or those who serve the high court. They know I fled. They will come. Tom frowned. Why would they? Chase someone who's injured. You didn't do anything wrong. I refuse to follow the path they gave me, Nira said. A royal must marry by duty. But I didn't want to. I was broken, and that made me useless in their eyes. Tom looked at her for a moment. You're not useless. You're still alive, still thinking, still fighting. That matters. Nira's lips moved in a faint smile. You speak like someone who has been alone too. Tom looked away. Maybe. They spent the next few days inside the cabin. Tom fixed the old solar panel so the cabin could power a small heater and light. He cooked simple meals from his supplies. He also built a brace for Nira's leg using wood and cloth. She practiced walking slowly, leaning on a stick. She didn't give up, even when she fell twice. Every day, they talked a little more. Tom learned that Nira's people were from a planet called Cyrene. They had long lifespans, strong traditions, and strict laws. A royal like Nira was expected to be strong, graceful, and fully healthy. When she was injured during a battle training event, they saw her as unworthy. Her father died soon after, and the royal council tried to control her. They tried to marry me off like a piece of cargo, Nira said one evening. I refused, so they locked me in a palace. I escaped in a stolen scout ship. Tom shook his head. That's wrong, maybe, but they won't forgive me. One night, Tom heard a sound outside. He stepped out with his old rifle, heart beating fast, in the distance. A small drone hovered silently above the trees. Its lights blinked. Red, it wasn't human-made. He quickly pulled out his scanner. The signal was weak, but it matched alien tech. Tom ran back into the cabin. Nira, something's flying overhead. It might be a scout. Nira stood with effort. Then they've begun searching. Tom looked at her. We have to stay hidden. You can't leave yet. I know, Nira said. But they'll keep looking. And if they find the ship, They'll find us. We need a plan, Tom said. I can build a shield for the cabin, something to block scanners. At least for a while. I can help, Nira offered. Tom looked at her leg. You need rest. I can use my hands, she said, and mine for the next 2 days. They worked together. Tom brought pieces of old tech from a storage shed nearby. Nira showed him how to connect alien circuits to human power sources. She couldn't walk far, but she gave clear instructions. She even smiled once when he messed up a wire and got a small shock. You learn fast, she said. You teach well, he replied. Each evening, they sat near the small heater. Nira asked about Earth, what life was like before aliens came. Tom told her about his parents, who worked in the main colony, about how he liked building things more than farming, and how he felt more at home in the forest than in town. You don't seem like the others. Nira said one night, maybe I'm not, Tom replied. She looked at him for a long moment. That's why I feel safe with you. Tom didn't know what to say, so he just nodded. The next morning, something strange happened. Nira had tried standing without the stick. She took a step, stumbled, and Tom caught her. Their hands touched for a brief moment. Her eyes widened, and she froze. Tom looked at her, confused. You okay? Nira stared at their hands. Then her voice came softly. You touched me without fear. I was helping you. Nira stepped back. In my culture, that means something. What does it mean? Tom asked. She didn't answer right away. She looked unsure, even nervous. Then she whispered, it means you accepted the bond. Tom blinked. Bond? Nira took a breath. In my people's ways. A royal offers a silent bond to someone she trusts completely. If the other person touches her with care during that moment, the bond is made. I didn't know, Tom said. I know, Nira replied. That's what makes it real. Tom's head spun. He didn't understand all of it, but something serious had just happened, something important. Nira turned away and sat down. She looked out the window at the sky. I won't force anything, she said. But now, something has changed. Tom sat on the floor beside her, quiet. He didn't know where this would lead. But for the first time in a long while, he didn't feel alone. For the next few days, things changed between Tom and Nira. The air inside the cabin felt different. Not heavy, but warmer somehow. Nira still trained her body each morning, walking slowly with the help of the brace Tom made. Her movements were stiff but determined. She never asked for help unless truly needed, but Tom stayed close anyway. They spoke more now, not just about tools and repairs, but about real things. Tom talked about how he missed his grandfather, how he had taught him to survive in the woods, build things with his hands, and listen to the sound of wind. Nira listened quietly, her silver eyes always focused, like every word meant something. She shared too. I used to stand on a tower back home, Nira said one night, sitting on the cabin steps beside Tom. I would watch the lights of our cities. From up there, they looked like stars. But I always felt like I was watching someone else's world. You didn't belong there, Tom asked. I wanted to, she said. But they only saw what I could not do, not what I was. Tom nodded slowly. Sometimes humans do that too. They sat in silence for a while, watching fireflies drift through the trees. Nira leaned against the cabin wall. Her leg rested on a small pillow. Still healing but stronger than before. Tom glanced at her hand. He remembered what she had said about the bond. He hadn't meant anything by the touch that day, but it had changed something between them. He didn't bring it up again. Neither did she. But the silence between them had stopped feeling empty. It felt like understanding. One afternoon, Nira surprised Tom by standing without her stick. She took 3 steps across the room. Tom clapped. You did it. I almost fell, she said, smiling. But you didn't, he replied. That night, she asked to help him fix the cabin door. They sat side by side, passing tools, tightening screws, and laughing when the handle broke off twice before staying in place. You're good at this, Tom said. I used to build machines in the palace when no one was looking, Nira replied. They said I shouldn't, that it wasn't for a princess. Looks like they were wrong, Tom said. Nira looked at him, eyes soft. They were wrong about many things. The next morning, the scanner beeped again. Tom checked the screen. A weak signal pulsed from the east side of the forest. Alien. Tech. It moved slowly, as if scanning the ground. Nira looked at the screen. They're searching. Tom grabbed his bag. We'll need to stay hidden today. No fires. No lights. Nira nodded. They stayed inside, curtains drawn. Tom reinforced the scanner shield they had built. Nira worked with him silently, more focused than ever. They won't stop, she said quietly. They want me back. But not because they care, Tom said. Just because of rules. Yes, Nira said. And to use me for political deals? Tom clenched his jaw. That's not right. Nira looked down at her hand. The bond we share, it was meant to be a private thing, a promise. But if they find out, they'll say you don't deserve it, that you're not worthy. Tom looked at her. I don't care what they say. You're not cargo. You're not a trophy. You're a person. Nira smiled softly. You sound like someone from a better world. I just sound like someone who knows what matters, Tom replied. Later that evening, Nira tried something new. She sat at the small desk and began drawing strange shapes on paper using Tom's pencil. These are words from my language, she said. The old kind. Before the High Court erased them, Tom watched closely. The symbols were curved and flowing, like art. What do they mean? This one means courage, she said. And this means second beginning. Tom, lean closer. That sounds like what you're doing now. She nodded slowly. Maybe. But I cannot forget where I came from. Maybe you don't have to, Tom said. You just get to choose what comes next. Nira looked at him. And you? What will you choose? Tom didn't answer right away. He wasn't sure. He had never planned for more than quiet days and forest walks. But now she was here, and everything felt different. I don't know yet, he said. But I think I want to find out. The next day, it rained. Tom used the time to clean the storage shed while Nira rested inside. Around midday, he heard a soft knock on the cabin door. He opened it and saw Nira standing with both hands behind her back. I made something, she said. Tom stepped aside to let her in. She opened her hands to reveal a small symbol made from bent wires and smooth stones. It looked like the drawing she had shown earlier. It's the word for bond, she said. But I added earth stones to it. Tom took it in his hand. It's beautiful. It's for you, she said. So you remember, even if I have to leave one day. Tom looked at her seriously. Are you planning to leave? Nira looked away. Not yet, but if they come, I don't want you to get hurt. I'm not scared, Tom said. I chose to help you. Nira looked into his eyes. I know. They stood in silence again. Not uncomfortable. Just quiet and real. Then Nira did something she had never done before. She reached out and gently touched his hand. Tom didn't pull away. You know what this means now, she said softly. Tom nodded. Double quotes, yes, he replied. That night, a soft humming noise echoed in the distance. Tom stood outside with his rifle. The scanner blinked again. But this time, the signal didn't fade. It was getting closer. Inside, Nira stood with her brace and stick, eyes steady. If they come tomorrow, she said, I won't run alone. Tom looked at her. Then we face it together. Tom didn't sleep that night. He kept the scanner close, eyes locked on the blinking signal. It hadn't moved in hours, but something told him that would change soon. Outside, the wind moved through the trees. The forest was too quiet inside. The cabin, Nira sat near the window, her stick beside her. She didn't ask questions. She just waited, calm but alert. They know where we are, Tom finally said. Not exactly, but close. Nira gave a slow nod. They're scanning the whole forest. It's only a matter of time. Tom walked across the room, thinking, we can't stay here. If they land nearby, we'll be surrounded. There's a cave system in the eastern hills, Nira said. I saw it when I flew in. It could be a safe place to hide. Tom nodded. It'll take ours to get there on foot. Can your leg handle it? Nira stood slowly. It has to. Tom didn't argue. He packed food, water, and tools in his bag. Nira helped roll up blankets. She still moved carefully, but her steps were stronger than before. Her training had paid off. Just before sunrise, they left the cabin behind. The forest looked different. In the early light, shadows stretched across the ground. Birds flew away as they passed. Tom led the way, using a quiet path he had used for hunting before. Nira followed close. Using her stick when the ground turned rough, every sound made Tom look over his shoulder. The scanner in his hand beeped softly. The signal had moved. It was now behind them, closing in. They've landed, Tom said. Nira didn't speak. She just kept walking, faster now. They moved for nearly 3 hours without rest. The air grew colder as they climbed a hill. On the other side, thick trees covered a rocky path that led down toward a narrow stream. Beyond that stream were the hills Nira had mentioned. Tom stopped to catch his breath. Nira leaned against a tree, face pale. "We're close," Tom said. "We can't stop now," Nira replied. Just then, a loud hum came from above. Tom looked up. A black drone flew low, scanning the forest. It passed overhead and turned back toward their direction. "They found us," Tom said. "Run." Nira said quickly. Now, they ran. Branches whipped past as they pushed through thick bushes. Nira's stick snapped in two, but she kept moving. Tom stayed beside her, helping her when the ground became steep. The drone followed, its lights flashing red. Tom pulled out his small imp device, something he had built from Nira's tech. He waited until the drone got close enough, then triggered it. A loud pop filled the air. The drone sparked and dropped into the trees, but they weren't safe yet. A strange whistling sound echoed behind them. Then a sleek alien craft appeared between the trees, hovering just above the ground. Its door opened, and 3 armored figures stepped out. Tom grabbed Nira's hand and pulled her forward. They crossed the stream, climbed the rocky hill, and finally reached the entrance to the cave. Tom pushed aside the brush that covered it. Inside, he said. They crawled into the narrow passage. It was dark, but dry. Farther in, the space opened into a wide chamber with stone walls and a small underground pool. Tom helped Nira sit down. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, catching her breath. "I'm fine." Tom peeked through the cave entrance. The soldiers were scanning the area. One walked past the stream, but didn't see the entrance. "They don't know where we went," he said. "Not yet." Nira rested her head against the wall. "That was close." Tom sat beside her. "Too close." They stayed in the cave for hours. Tom shared water and food. Nira said little. She looked deep in thought. After a while, she broke the silence. "If they capture me, they won't let me live freely again. I won't let them take you," Tom said. Nira turned to him. "If they find out about the bond, they'll punish you too. I knew that risk the moment I helped you," Tom said. "You're not alone in this." Nira looked at him closely. "Why did you help me that first day?" Tom thought for a moment. "Because you needed it. And because I saw someone who still had fight in her, even after being hurt." She smiled faintly. "I didn't think anyone would believe in me again." "Well, I do," Tom said. They sat in silence, listening to the sounds of water dripping from the cave ceiling. Then Nira pulled something from her pocket. A small stone, carved with a symbol. "This means hope in my language," she said. "I kept it hidden when I escaped." She placed it in Tom's hand. "I want you to keep it," she added. Tom looked at the stone, then at her. "I'll guard it like I guard you." Suddenly, the ground vibrated slightly. Tom stood and moved toward the cave entrance, through the trees. He saw a second craft landing nearby. More soldiers appeared. "They're sending a sweep team," Tom said. "They'll find this cave if we stay." "Then we need a distraction," Nira said. "I can use the old drone core in my bag," Tom replied. "It can send a false signal." He worked quickly, connecting wires and charging the power cell. He placed the device outside the cave under a pile of leaves, set it to emit Nira's signature, then ran back inside. Within minutes, the soldiers moved toward the signal. "It's working," Nira said. "For now," Tom said. "But we need to move again soon." "Where?" she asked. "There's an old observatory on the mountain." Tom said, It has a strong signal tower. You can send a message. A real one. Nira looked unsure. If I call home, they may send. Others, worse ones. Then don't call home, Tom said. Call someone you trust. She hesitated, then nodded. I know someone. As night fell, they left the cave and moved quietly toward the mountain. Nira's legs slowed her down, but she didn't complain. Tom stayed close, helping her over rocks and roots. The stars began to appear overhead, and though danger still followed them, Nira whispered, "Thank you, Tom, for everything." He looked at her. "We're not done yet," he said, "but we'll make it." She reached for his hand, just for a moment. It was enough. The forest grew darker as Tom and Nira climbed higher toward the mountain. The trees thinned, and the cold wind picked up. The stars above shone brighter now. Tom moved carefully, helping Nira step over rocks and fallen branches. She leaned on him when the ground grew too rough. They had left the cave before sunrise, hoping to reach the observatory by night. It sat on top of a steep ridge that once belonged to Earth scientists. Long before this part of the land was abandoned, Tom had found it during one of his old forest walks. He remembered broken equipment, a cracked telescope, and a large signal tower still standing tall. Now that tower was their only hope. "We're close," Tom said, pointing through the trees near us. Breathing was heavy. "I'll make it." Tom slowed down and looked at her. "We can rest for a few minutes." "No," she replied. "If we stop now, they'll catch up." Tom understood. He took her hand again, and together they pushed forward. By the time they reached the top, the moon was high. The observatory looked just like Tom remembered. A round building covered in moss and vines, windows broken, and the door hanging open. They stepped inside. Dust filled the air. Old tools and machines lay scattered around. The air was cold, but safe. There was no sign of alien tech nearby. "We'll be okay here for now," Tom said. Nira nodded. She limped toward the middle console at the back of the room. The signal tower's control board was still connected to power lines buried in the ground. Tom helped her sit on the bench beside it. "I can try to fix it," he said. "I'll guide you," Nira replied. "The system is old, but your tech and mine can connect." They worked side by side. Tom opened panels, reconnected wires, and replaced broken parts with pieces from his pack. Nira used her knowledge to adjust the signal flow. Her fingers moved slowly, but with care. Despite the pain in her arm, she kept going. After 2 hours, the screen blinked. A soft beep echoed through the observatory. "It's working," Nira said. Tom smiled. "Send your message." Nira typed a message in her language, then added a second one in basic trade code. She sent it to a name Tom didn't recognize. "Who's that?" Tom asked. "His name is Arden," Nira said. "He was once my father's closest advisor. He left the court when they turned against me. If anyone will listen, it's him." Tom nodded. "What did you tell him?" "That I'm alive." She answered, "And I'm not returning to the court unless they accept me as I am." Tom looked at her. "Do you think he'll come?" "I hope so," she said. "But we must be ready if he doesn't." Suddenly, a low hum came from outside. Tom grabbed the scanner. A ship was nearby. The same signature as before. "They followed us again," Tom said. Nira stood slowly. "We can't run anymore." Tom moved to the broken telescope dome. Through a crack in the wall, he saw the lights of the alien ship landing at the base of the mountain. Figures moved through the trees. "They'll be here in minutes," he said. Nira stepped forward. "Then I'll go out there. They want me." "Not you." Tom blocked her path. "No, I'm not letting you give yourself up." Nira looked at him with pain in her eyes. "If they hurt you, I'll never forgive myself." Tom held her shoulders. "We didn't come this far to give up. We fight." He ran to a storage box in the corner. Inside were old flares, signal wires, and metal rods. Tom built a quick trap at the doorway, then set flares along the hill path. Nira, with effort, connected a small energy pulse to one of the flare wires. "They'll trigger it if they get too close," she said. Footsteps echoed in the distance. Tom handed her a small tool with a button. "If they get past me, press this. It'll drop the metal bar I rigged to the ceiling." "What about you?" Nira asked. I'll be right here, he said. She reached for his hand. Be careful. Tom nodded and moved outside. In the darkness, Tom saw the shadows of 3 alien soldiers climbing the ridge. He took cover behind a fallen tree and threw a rock. The sound made one of the soldiers move off the path. When he stepped on the flare wire, a bright red light flashed, followed by a sharp blast. The soldiers scattered, confused. Tom fired a warning shot from his old rifle. It hit the ground near them. They returned fire, missing him by inches. From inside, Nira activated a small sonic burst, using her broken ship's beacon core. The sound blasted through the air. The soldiers fell back, hands covering their ears. Tom ran back into the observatory. That bought us a minute. Nira pointed at the signal screen. I got a reply. Arden's coming. He's bringing a neutral ship. Tom smiled with relief. How long? 30 minutes, she said. We just need to hold until then. The soldiers recovered and advanced again. This time, one of them threw a device toward the door. Tom kicked it aside, but it exploded in a flash of light. Dust filled the air. A soldier pushed into the observatory. Nira hit the button. The metal bar dropped from above and knocked the soldier down. Tom tackled him and pulled off his helmet. The alien stared up, surprised by the human strength. Tom tied him with wire and dragged him aside. Another soldier stepped in. Before he could aim, Nira grabbed a tool and hit the panel near the window. A burst of blue light shot out, forcing the attacker to jump back. We can't do this much longer, Tom said. Almost there, Nira replied. Then a new sound filled the air. A deep rumble, not from the mountain, but the sky. Tom looked outside. A new ship arrived. Silver and smooth, different from the others. It hovered above the trees and released a soft light. The remaining enemy soldiers froze. From the ship, a voice echoed in trade code. Stand down. This is a protected site. The attackers slowly backed away and disappeared into the forest. Tom and Nira stepped outside. Breathing hard, the silver ship landed gently. Its door opened. A tall alien man in silver robes stepped out. Nira, he said calmly, you are safe now. Nira looked at him with surprise. Arden? He nodded. You called. I came. Tom watched silently as the 2 aliens spoke. Then Arden turned to him. You helped her, protected her. Tom stood tall. She wasn't just someone who needed help. She became someone I trust. Arden studied him for a moment, then gave a small nod. Come, we have much to talk about. Nira looked at Tom. Will you come with me? Tom looked at the stars above, then at her. Yes, wherever you go, I'll go too. Tom stood beside Nira as the silver ship rose into the sky. The mountain shrank beneath them. He stared out of the clear window, feeling a strange mix of excitement and fear. He had never left Earth's surface before, never imagined flying in an alien ship. Nira sat next to him, her hands resting calmly on her lap. Arden stood near the control panel, guiding the ship through the stars. Where are we going? Tom asked. To the Sky Kingdom, Nira replied. It floats above the atmosphere, hidden from scanners. My people built it long ago. It's a place for peace and quiet, far from the court and its noise. Tom nodded slowly. Will they accept you there? Arden turned his head. Some will, others may not, but they will listen, especially after what happened. Tom looked at Nira. She was no longer the weak and wounded girl he found in the forest. Her eyes were calm but strong. Her voice was steady. You've changed, he said. Nira looked at him. No, I think I finally remember who I was before they tried to break me. Hours passed. Stars blinked around them. They passed satellites. An old wreckage left by other ships. Then, through the clouds, a shape appeared. It was massive. A floating city made of silver towers, crystal domes, and long bridges that connected buildings in the sky. The Sky Kingdom? Tom's breath caught as the ship entered the docking ring. Blue lights followed the ship. Tall figures in flowing robes waited at the entrance. Some looked curious, others looked cold. Nira took a deep breath. Are you ready? Tom asked. I have to be, she replied. The door opened. Nira stepped out first, followed by Arden. Tom stayed behind her. eyes watching the silent crowd. One of the robed aliens stepped forward. She was older, with silver markings on her forehead. "You are alive," the woman said. "I am," Nira replied. "They said you were lost, that you could not return. They were wrong." The woman studied her carefully. Then she turned to Arden. "You brought a human." Arden replied calmly. "He saved her life, protected her when no one else did." Tom stepped forward. "My name is Tom. I didn't come here to cause trouble. I just wanted her to be safe." There was a long silence. Then the woman stepped aside. "Come, the council must hear your words." The council chamber was wide and bright. Soft lights floated above them like small stars. The council sat in a circle, 12 aliens wearing robes of different colors. They looked down at Nira with unreadable expressions. "Why did you return?" one asked. "I came to remind you of who I am." Nira replied, "I am still a princess, even if I was born different. My legs may be weak, my body may not be like others, but I carry the blood of the royal line." Another council member spoke. "And why did you bring a human?" "Because he gave me strength." Nira said, "He treated me with respect, not as a broken thing to be hidden away. He showed me I was more than just my weakness." Tom stepped forward. "I know I'm not part of your world, but I saw Nira when she had nothing. I watched her fight for every step. I saw her protect me when others would have run. I think she's stronger than any of you now." The room was silent. Then one of the council members stood. He looked older. Then the rest. His voice was soft but sharp. "Words are easy, actions speak louder. If she wishes to stay, she must prove her worth. And if the human stands with her, he must face our test too." Arden raised an eyebrow. "What kind of test?" "A test of heart," the elder replied. "Let them walk the bridge of trust." Gasps filled the room. Nira's face remained calm. "We accept, later." Tom stood with Nira at the edge of a long glass bridge. It stretched across a deep, empty space, suspended by energy fields. There were no rails, just a narrow path and a drop into darkness. "What is this?" Tom asked. Nira looked ahead. "The bridge of trust appears only when two people walk it together. If we doubt each other, the bridge will vanish beneath us." Tom stared at the edge. "So if one of us doesn't trust the other, we fall." Nira nodded. "But I trust you." Tom looked into her eyes. "I trust you too." They stepped onto the bridge. At first, it was solid, a soft glow beneath their feet. They moved slowly, hand in hand. The silence round them was deep, almost too quiet. Then the wind rose. Tom's steps wobbled. "It's shaking." "Stay calm," Nira said. Halfway across, the bridge flickered. A piece vanished behind them. Tom's heart raced. "We're losing it. Keep walking. Don't look back," she said. Tom focused on her voice, on her steps, on her calm. They walked together, one step at a time. The bridge held. They reached the end. As soon as they stepped off, the bridge vanished behind them. The crowd that had gathered around the edges began to murmur. The council elders stepped forward. "You passed." Back inside the chamber, Nira stood tall. "I don't ask to rule," she said. "I ask to live with honor. I ask to be seen, and I ask to be free." The elder nodded. "Then you shall have your place among us again." Another council member added, "But what of the human?" Nira answered, "He came into my life when I had no one. He is my choice, not because I need saving, but because he saw me when I could barely see myself." Tom smiled. "I'm not going anywhere." The council spoke quietly among themselves. Then the elder turned back to them. "Let it be known. Princess Nira is restored to her name and house. And the human, Tom, is her chosen companion. Their bond is recognized by this court." Later, on a quiet balcony overlooking the stars, Nira stood beside Tom. The air was peaceful. The city below shimmered with lights. "You didn't have to stay," she said. "I didn't want to leave." He replied, "I thought I was broken." She said, "But maybe I was just waiting for the right person to remind me I was whole." Tom looked at her. "You've always been strong. I just walked beside you until you saw it." Nira smiled. She reached for his hand. The stars above them were silent. but the feeling between them said everything. The sun over the Sky Kingdom never truly set. It hovered behind the clouds in a warm golden glow, shining through crystal walls and silver towers. The city felt alive, peaceful, and filled with quiet voices preparing for the coming event. Tom stood near a large mirror inside a chamber. His clothes were no longer torn or stained. He now wore a long robe gifted to him by the royal tailors. It was smooth and deep blue, marked with thin white lines that showed trust and bond in Nira's culture. He had never worn anything like it before. He felt strange but proud. Behind him, Arden stood quietly. "You look ready?" Tom turned. "I still don't understand why they agreed to all this." Arden smiled faintly. "Because you crossed the bridge of trust. Few ever complete it. You did it with a princess they had given up on. That means something here." Tom looked back at the mirror. "And now we're to be joined?" Arden nodded. "You don't have to call it marriage if you don't want, but for her people, it is the same." Tom felt his chest grow warm. "I don't mind what they call it, if it means being with her. I'll accept it." In another chamber, Nira sat by the window, her hands folded in her lap. A soft robe of silver and green wrapped around her body. Her long hair had been gently brushed by handmaids who now waited by the wall. Nira had asked for no crown, no heavy symbols of power. She wanted the moment to be simple and true. One of the handmaids walked closer. "Are you sure?" "Princess," Nira looked out the window. "Yes, I'm not doing this for duty or tradition. I choose him." Another voice came from the door. It was her older cousin, Lena, who had once doubted her. "You've changed, Nira. I used to think you were weak, but now I found my strength in the forest," Nira said. "He didn't give it to me. He just reminded me it was still there." Lena gave a small nod. "Then go. Let them see." The chamber where the joining was to happen stood high above the rest of the city. The glass floor showed the stars below. A quiet crowd had gathered, not to watch a royal order, but to witness something rare, a bond formed by choice, not law. Tom stepped forward as the lights dimmed. At the center of the chamber stood a tall elder in white. Behind him, Nira arrived, guided by Arden and followed by a trail of soft light. Tom couldn't look away. She looked beautiful and calm. Her steps were slow but steady, supported by a cane made of smooth crystal. She didn't hide her limp. She walked proudly, as she was. When she reached him, she took his hand. The elder began. "This is not a union of power. This is not a rule passed down by the old ways. This is a choice. To beings from two worlds, they met by chance, they stayed. By trust, they stand here by will." Tom and Nira stood face to face. The elder turned to Tom. "Do you walk this path with her, knowing all that has come before and all that may come?" "I do," Tom said. Then the elder turned to Nira. "Do you walk this path with him, knowing it may lead far from the world you were born into?" "I do," she said. The elder raised both hands. "Then you are joined, not as ruler and servant, not as alien and outsider, but as equals. From this day forward, you walk together." A warm light passed over them. The crowd was quiet, then slowly began to cheer. Later, on the balcony where they had first watched the stars, Nira and Tom sat beside each other. No guards, no robes, just two souls who had walked through fire too. "Find peace. Everything feels strange now," Tom said softly. "Because it's new," Nira replied. "And maybe because it's real." He looked at her hand resting on the railing. Her fingers curled gently. He reached out, lacing his fingers with hers. "You know," he said, "back on Earth, I thought I was just a guy hiding in the woods, trying to stay away from war, from pain." Nira looked at him, and now he smiled. "Now I think I was waiting. For me?" she asked. He nodded. "Yeah, for you." A soft breeze passed over them. The stars above flickered like tiny flames. "Where do we go now?" Tom asked. Nira pointed to the far sky. "There are many worlds. I want to see them. With you." He leaned back. "So we're travelers now. We're whatever we choose to be," she said. Behind them, Arden walked forward. "Your ship is ready." The council granted it. "A gift to start your own journey." Tom stood. What? About you? Won't you come with us? Arden shook his head. I have duties here. But if you ever need me, you know where to find me. Nira walked up and embraced him gently. Thank you for believing in me. You believed in yourself first, Arden said. By morning, the stars faded and the sky turned silver. The small ship stood ready on the platform. Its doors opened slowly. Inside, it was quiet and clean. A perfect home for two who had already lived through chaos. Tom helped Nira up the ramp. She didn't need much help, but he stayed close anyway. She smiled at him as they entered. You ready for this? She asked. Always, he said. The ship lifted off gently. Below them, the Sky Kingdom slowly shrank. Ahead, space opened wide, full of colors and secrets. As they flew into the unknown, Tom leaned toward her. Do you ever think it's strange? He asked. That a human hiding in the forest met a disabled alien princess and somehow ended up flying into the stars. Nira looked at him. No, I think it was meant to happen. He smiled. Maybe you're right. The stars lit their way forward. Two souls, once lost, now found, together.